Hey guys, d0ntblink coming back here with another World of Warships video. I haven't been able to put out much World of Tanks content because I haven't been able to get to my Xbox lately, but I have been able to play World of Warships and I am just enjoying it. As you can tell with this brand new battleship I got, this is the Tier 6 American battleship, the New Mexico. This thing is pretty deadly close from medium to close ranges. And it has 12 356mm guns with about 10,900 damage with an AP shell citadel penetration. So it can definitely lay down the pain. Also, it has very good secondaries, unlike the New York at Tier 5. Now, this ship also is the first ship in the American battleship line to get a scout plane, so you can increase the firing range from 14.9 to 17.9 whenever you activate that, which is very good because the 14.9 firing range on this is not good by battleship standards, especially compared to the Japanese battleships, which can fire at over 18 kilometers. So that's the beginning of this game. It's slow as usual. Whenever you play battleship, you kind of have to accept that your first probably 5 minutes of the game, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, won't be that eventful. Quite simply because unless you're in something like a Congo or maybe a Miyogi that can do, 27 to 30 knots, you're not going to be flying anywhere. This thing maxes out at 21 knots, so you'll definitely be having some time to think about what your strategy is. Now it's around this point when I'm thinking, there's not a lot of cruisers near us right now, and I'd really like some cruisers to come help us. So, yep, see, I'm looking at all the cruisers. I have like a pack of battleships with us, and the role of cruisers are pretty much to escort battleships and to support them, because if we get a bunch of port bombers and regular bombers that come after us, our AA is okay, but we'll probably take a lot of damage, whereas a cruiser's anti-aircraft is way better. And we also have some Clevelands on our team, I think, and some Pensacola's, which have some very good anti-aircraft. So I definitely want some cruisers by these big battleships. The New Mexico class has pretty good AA, rated at, I think, 41. Unfortunately, I don't have that yet. I'm nearly there. If I have time, you can probably see this video upload with God, the ship fully upgraded. And as it is right now, the AA is okay, not great, but I have a feeling whenever I get it fully upgraded, I'll be able to knock out planes and keep my ship safer. So now we're about 3 minutes into the battle, and we're finally coming upon sort of a... As you can see here, I launched my scout planes, therefore my range is extended to nearly 18 kilometers, and that's really going to help me out in hurting some of these enemies. Fired my full salvo there, didn't manage to hit anybody. So we're gonna go ahead and turn our turret the other way. We see some enemy battleships, cruisers in the distance. Now that the rate of fire on most battleships is about 2 rounds a minute, so nothing too great. We're usually looking at about a 30 to 40 second reload. There is some equipment that you can do to take that down. Maybe just take off 3 seconds out of a 40-second time. Now we just launched some shells at what looks like New Mexico. I really can't tell. We landed a few hits there, 4 hits, not bad. We're gonna keep moving on. New Mexico really is a pretty unique battleship for Tier 6 because unlike the Japanese, which they don't get 3 guns and 1 turret, I think, whereas we get 3 guns and 1 turret at Tier 6. What that means is that whenever you only have your frontal or rear turrets facing somebody, you have half your firepower, whereas with the Japanese battleship, you might only have 4 guns. So you get a little bit more firepower when you're approaching somebody or running away from somebody. However, the drawback to that is if one of these gets knocked out, you lose 1/4 of all your firepower, so it is sort of a trade-off. And the New Mexico's armor is pretty good as well. It doesn't get citadel pinned a lot, but it's definitely not its strongest battleship by any means. It can get citadel pinned by others, but for you know, cruisers trying to shoot AP at it. It handles HE really well. We're trying to do some shots into that Omaha, hoping to maybe get some Citadel penetrations on them. But we only managed to probably get over penetrations, missing a Citadel. And for those of you who don't know, the Citadel is the most heavily armored part of a ship, because that's usually where they might store ammo, or maybe it's a compartment where fuel is stored. So obviously if you hit it, you can damage a lot, just like how that cruiser just got hit from our friendly New Mexico right there, and probably got a Citadel. Got some bombers above us, and because we have all of us over here, we were able to take out most of them. Two salvos, 3 salvos, 4 salvos. Just trying to spread my fire because this guy's maneuvering pretty well. I managed to land a few. So I'm looking right now, and I'm starting to realize, wow, we got a little pack of battleships over here. Having a pack of battleships is good, but I definitely don't want any destroyers or cruisers sneaking up on us and laying down some torps, because the torpedoes in this game are the battleship's worst nightmare. If a little destroyer, you know, pops a smoke screen 5 kilometers from you and you're in a battleship and he turns, you better I will say, battleships are one of the most frustrating things because you have to be very aware of your surroundings. You have to be looking for those little destroyers. As we get a Citadel penetration on what looks like a Cleveland, that was about 10,000 damage there from one shell. I have had instances in this ship where I've completely killed a cruiser just by penning 4 shots on a Citadel out of 12, so this thing has the potential for some very high damage, but the battleship, you rarely hit those big numbers. So unlike tank destroyers and World of Tanks, you know, the average each time it's very much RNG whether 1, the shot either hits, and 2, whether it actually does anything, or if it just over-penetrates. If it just over-penetrates, you know, you get like 1,000 damage, but let's say on another battleship, if you over-penetrate it or just scrape it, you get 1,000 damage. You know, that's, you know, in this battleship's instance, that's 1/53 of its health, so nothing too fantastic there. Now, if you manage to land some penetrating hits, but they're not critical, you know, you roll for 3,000 or 4,000. If you hit a few of those, you could equal up to a critical Citadel hit. So at the end of the match, that's firing, guys. I fire out my It looks like he might have gotten the Citadel pin. I don't know, but I managed to take him out with my salvo. He did some very good damage to us, and now we use our repair ability, which allows us to repair a certain amount of our health whenever we get hit. This is only for battleships, and it helps a lot. This is so these guys can stay in the game longer, because these guys are the ones that get shot at the most. Cruisers have an anti-aircraft ability that boosts the range and the effectiveness of their anti-aircraft guns. That's why a cruiser really should be near the battleship, so that if the torpedo bombers try to go get them, they can shoot them down. First, I think pop smoke, which really buffs their camo. And secondly, they have almost like a boost ability where they can press the boost and their ship will gain a certain amount of speed, which can really help them get out of some bad situations. And it lasts for a while. It lasts for, I think, a whole minute, if I'm not mistaken. So we're coming up on the enemies now. We do have the ship advantage, and our team on the other flank completely annihilated their team, so now we're attacking them on 2 fronts. So we're looking at it right here. We launch out our salvo. I'm really hoping for some Citadel pens on cruisers, but we don't get too much damage, but we did hurt them. And as I said, we are attacking them from 2 fronts, so this guy's running away from me so that he can go try to engage some of our cruisers on the other flank and help out his friend. So I decided I'm going to try and take some shots at the Cleveland that's running away right there. Yep, there he is. That's the New Mexico Cleveland's behind him. Put out a salvo against the New Mexico. Don't really... we get some decent shots, some decent damage. The Cleveland's just pouring HE, or trying to pour HE into me. The Cleveland is one of the last ships you want to have HEing you down. Cruisers can really damage battleships with HE just by constantly setting them on fire, knocking out their anti-aircraft guns. It can get pretty brutal. That's why battleships usually like to use their range, and if they get close, they're usually coming in for a kill. You want to make sure you're trying for a kill against a cruiser. That's mainly on a Japanese cruiser, because most of the Japanese cruisers, if not all of them, have anti-aircraft. Get within 7 kilometers, 5 kilometers, the odds are they'll launch them at you, and you will lose all your health. Now, I was a little greedy there. I tried to kill the Cleveland with only 2 of my gun turrets, and I missed, and then I tried to kill my other 2, and he turned, so note to self, don't be greedy next time. I'm trying to find a shot on that New Mexico, but then we see a New York who has completely beached himself, as it turns out. And, yep. So we got, of course, pirates. 1, 2. Waiting for my other gun turrets to reload. But he's taken out in the Cleveland. So now there's only 1 New Mexico left. So this has been pretty much a shock and awe game. For World of Warships, this was a very fast game. I did not drop off the speed once this game, and I guess that's that's why I'm showing you guys this game. For for World of Tanks, you finish a match 3 to 5 minutes. It's pretty much a shock and awe game. Nothing was really close at all. It's the same thing with this game. I mean, usually games, these games are usually about 15 to 20 minutes long. But this game, as it turns out, so far is about, I think, 12 minutes. Really intense standards, but I mean, if you look at our ships, we've only lost 1 ship, and we end our enemy New Mexico. And at the post-battle results screen, we see we got 132,000 credits, 2,151 XP, and 108 free XP. We sank 2 ships, got 1 Citadel pin, got a few other penetrations. We finished 2nd on our team, next to a cruiser. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.